You ever wonder what happened to Jordin Sparks' career? Well, Jordin admitted that she cussed out the people at her label.
I walked in and I was like, first of all, F you, F you, F you, and F you.
As you can imagine, this didn't exactly go over well for Jordin. If you want to find out more, stay tuned and watch this video. Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. This video puts a spotlight on Jordin Sparks' career. Jordin Sparks is a very talented singer and songwriter who made her claim to fame from the singing competition American Idol. She won the 6th season of American Idol at the age of 17, making her the youngest winner in the franchise. And she got an incredible amount of exposure from the show. After she won the show, she signed with 19 Recordings and Jive Records, and she put her album out as soon as possible. In 2007, she released her self-titled debut album, which became certified platinum within a year. The singles from her album included her hit song Tattoo, which peaked at number 8 on Billboard Hot 100 and sold 2 million copies. Also, One Step at a Time peaked to number 17 on the chart and sold over 1 million copies. And her biggest single to date was her song No Air featuring Chris Brown. No Air was a smash hit ballad. It was in the top 5 on both the pop and R&B charts. It peaked to number 3 on Billboard Hot 100, and it went platinum within 6 weeks of its release. Also, it went platinum in several countries. In 2014, it was said that the song sold 3.5 million copies in the US alone, but considering those stats were only updated 9 years ago, the single most definitely sold more than that since then, not only domestically but internationally as well. Also, No Air was nominated for a Grammy for Best Pop Collaboration. And more than likely, Jordin and Chris would have taken home that Grammy if Chris wasn't arrested earlier that day for his domestic violence incident with Rihanna. The negative press from that whole incident put a damper on the successful collaboration that Jordin had with Chris. But still, No Air is a song that people love and sing along to this day. Jordin's success continued to her sophomore album. In 2009, Jordin released her second album called Battlefield, which became certified gold, and it included hits like SOS Let the Music Play and her top 10 hit song Battlefield. Battlefield sold over 1 million digital copies in the US alone. Around this time, Jordin was touring constantly. Within the first 3 years of her career since winning American Idol, she went on 5 different tours and toured with acts from American Idol and also toured with artists like Britney Spears, Alicia Keys, Jesse McCartney, and the Jonas Brothers. She even had her own tour called the Battlefield Tour. She was constantly working. After taking a break from touring, she starred in the Broadway play In the Heights. Around 2011 to 2013, Jordin was preparing to release her third album, and she shook things up a little bit. She lost weight and came out with a sizzling new image. She got into her first high-profile relationship with the singer Jason Derulo, and she released a buzz single called I Am Woman, showing off her new mature, sassy, and confident side. I Am Woman had the potential to be a hit song and a pop anthem, but unfortunately, the single was mishandled, and there were some serious changes going on at Jordin's label. Her label, 19 Recordings and Jive Records, became inactive. In fact, Jive Records, J Records, Arista, and LaFace all shut down and merged in what we know today as RCA. Now, this was a huge issue because many artists were now misplaced and grouped under one label with completely new staff, and RCA didn't have enough staff to focus on these different artists. T-Pain even talked about how this change affected a lot of careers, including his. And to get more details on that, Watch my T-Pain documentary. It reveals a lot. But Jordin now was in a very weird space in her career where she wasn't able to release music. The team that she once had were no longer in the picture, and there was a new A&R at the RCA label who didn't really care about anything she had to sing about. She basically had no support. To keep herself booked, Jordin decided to transition to acting. She starred in the movie Sparkle alongside the late great Whitney Houston. And Jordin revealed that Whitney uplifted her during a time where she really needed it more than anything.
I also was feeling really a big amount of imposter syndrome being on that film because it was my first one I had ever done. And I was like, man, I wish I could do that. And Whitney, she gave me this look, like this, like, what did you just say kind of thing? And I was just like, yeah, I really wish I could do that. And she goes, you can do that. She says, don't ever let anybody tell you can't, even yourself, because you got this. I don't think she was even thinking about that, but the fact that she said that really helped push me kind of out of that, where I was like, oh, I'm meant to be here. I'm supposed to be here. And then the final night, so the finale scene where I'm in the red dress and the whole thing, she came in when they were shooting Just Me. It was her day off, and she came in and she sat down and supported me in that last scene. And I will never forget that. Like, an audience of one, and it's Whitney Houston. Like, what? Wow. And I'm gonna get teary just thinking about it. So after I was done shooting, she's like, come here, baby, come here. So I go down the stairs, and she takes my face in her hands, and she's like, you are perfect. You are everything we could have wanted for this role, and you deserve to be here. And I just burst into tears.
Man. Unfortunately, before the movie was released, Whitney did pass away. It was extremely devastating for Jordin and the rest of the cast, but Jordin will always remember how Whitney uplifted her during those moments. Jordin was dealing with a lot in her career because she wasn't able to release any music. She recorded 50-something songs, including one song called The Way, which was a song that she wrote alongside Seven Streeter, and the song was produced by Harmony Samuels. The song ended up going to Ariana Grande, which was Ariana's first big hit.
Ariana Grande's song The Way, actually I wrote about me and Jason. It was gonna go on my record, and somehow people heard it, she loved it, she cut it, she did an amazing job.
Jordin had no complaints about The Way going to Ariana, but it originally was her song, and it was supposed to be on her third album. But Jordin was having difficulty releasing her third album. She didn't have a good relationship with her A&R at RCA, and her label refused to let her release music. So she went to their office and confronted them.
But there were some things that happened when I was working on my album, like back in 2011, 2012, 2013. After I did Sparkle, I was like, okay, let's get into the studio. I'm going to make some music. And I was doing a pop R&B. I remember going to the record label, going to my A&R. I had almost 50 songs that I had recorded. And I did not have a good relationship with my A&R. I did not. I felt like he, as a young adult woman, female, black woman, walking into his office, I felt like he did not understand anything that I had to say at all. And that was pretty much for the entire time that I was there. And I went in there and I said some not so nice things because they had just been dangling a carrot in front of me for years. And so they blamed the fact that so they kept dangling a carrot, and then I was supposed to do music, and when they weren't doing anything to put what I was working on out, I was like, okay, I got to keep feeding myself. I have bills to pay. So I started auditioning, and I had been auditioning, and then I booked Sparkle, and then they turned it around on me and said I wasn't focused. If you can believe it, I walked in and I was like, first of all, F you, F you, F you, and F you. That's what I said. And then I said, now that we got that out of the way, I am willing to forget everything from the past
at that time, I guess it was 7 years, 6 or 7 years. It's like, I'm willing to forget everything for the next 7 years if we can just move forward and put this music out. But first, you're going to listen to everything that I have to say. And they did. And I didn't let them speak. I was just like, you're going to listen to all these songs. I have almost 50 songs, and we're going to listen to all of them right now while I'm sitting here. We listened to the songs, and they were amazing, and he said a whole bunch of amazing things about them. And then nothing happened again. So then I was stuck. And you know, I feel for me, I stayed completely true to myself. There were times when I was encouraged to either dye my hair or wear something different or say something else. And I just was like, no. And I know that, well, I don't know because I'm not God, but I feel that staying true to myself and saying no to some of those things is part of the reason why some things took so long. You know, when you don't conform, right? When you don't conform, it's almost like, not that I'm a problem, but it's like an issue. Like, oh, it's somebody that we can't just tell what to do. No. I've been like that since I was 17. No. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to say. And if that doesn't fit into your thing, then all right. But don't just hold on to me, because that's the crappy thing about the music industry. We've seen it with JoJo. We've seen it with tons of artists who don't have the same thought process as the people who are running the label. And then because they don't want to share, or because they want to claim an artist, they shelf us. But then that only hurts us. Like, you're keeping me from singing music because you don't want somebody else to push me out, but then why aren't you doing it?
While Jordin was going through issues in her music career, she was dealing with issues in her personal life, specifically with her relationship with Jason Derulo. Jordin and Jason had a very public relationship, and Jason even dedicated a song to her called "Marry Me." Most of the fans were certain that Jason and Jordin would end up getting married because their relationship seemed to be so perfect. But it was far from perfect, and they had a pretty messy breakup. In fact, Jason went on a whole press tour talking about the breakup.
There was, a lot of arguing going on, and different pressures of marriage. Not just from her perspective, from just like the world in general.
But Jason, you made a song and a video called "Marry Me."
I've been hearing that. So basically, I wrote the song because of the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to say that we got time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no rush. When the time is right, I will say, "Will you marry me?" When the time is right.
And did you mean that at that?
I did, for sure. The last conversation was dinner. We was sitting in Katana, and then we had an argument about a specific something that I don't want to mention, and that argument just kind of did it for me. Like after that point, I didn't really want to talk to her at all.
So it's your choice to walk away.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, after that specific argument, it's not like it was because of that. It was just the last straw. You know what I'm saying?
So it wasn't cheating.
It wasn't cheating, no.
There were rumors of infidelity on his part. Mm-hmm. Was he unfaithful to you?
I actually don't want to comment on that.
Okay. Now, what he's been saying is that he felt too much pressure to get married.
Sure.
You're a cute couple, and he wrote the "Marry Me" song.
Hey, listen, we set ourselves up for that.
Yes.
We set ourselves up for that. We set ourselves up for that.
And you were in the video.
Yeah. Okay.
So how did y'all break up?
We had an argument, or like this little tiff or whatever. I apologized because I was like, okay, that came out totally wrong. It just got really awkward, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. I asked him if we were good, and he was like, yeah, we're good, whatever. So then I leave, and he just doesn't call.
Damn.
And so he wasn't responding, and I was like, okay. So then I just stopped, and I was like, you need to come get your shit. So he got all this stuff out of my house because he was living with me.
Wow. Damn.
Jordin did release a mixtape called "Bye Felicia," and she kind of called her ex Jason out on that mixtape.
Yes, no, that's the mixtape. It's called "Bye Felicia."
Okay, and you said once you blew up, head got big, and you started changing. Can't believe all the things you started saying, like "I'm with you for your fame and your name." What?
That's what he said?
Girl,
He told
shut
you
me.
that?
Girl, tell her.
I mean, I'm gonna just let the lyrics speak for itself because there's a little bit of truth in.
But he really said that to you, like, I'm Jason Derulo. Did you have to say to him, I'm Jordin Sparks?
It wasn't so much he said his name, but it was.
You know who I am.
Yeah, it was essentially that
You
conversation.
were like, you know you
And
live
I
with
was
me,
like,
right?
That was what ran through my head. I was looking and I was like, you're saying that as you are sitting on my bed that I bought in my house that I bought.
Damn.
Parking your car in my garage.
Watching the movies that I started.
Right.
After Jason and Jordin broke up, she moved on to the rapper Sage the Gemini. And this relationship was even messier than the relationship she had with Jason. Sage was still trying to get with his ex-girlfriend while he was with Jordin.
I saw that there was some drama too on Twitter, so let's talk about that. Or on Instagram, his ex-girlfriend was trying to say that he was trying to get back together with her.
Yeah. No.
It was somebody else. Now, how do you handle when something like that happens? Because they put it out there like that she was DMing you conversations.
Which she didn't.
Okay, so that never happened.
No. Usually when stuff like that happens in any kind of context and for any person, usually that person is just trying to get the attention. And so for me, I'm just like, why talk about it?
Right.
It's just giving them the attention that they want. But I'm just, whatever. That was a couple months ago. She tried it. I asked for sure, and he looked me straight in the eye, and we talked about it and went through our whole little thing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna believe you. If we're gonna be together, we have to make sure that we know that our relationship is bigger than what anybody's gonna try and do from the outside. So.
Jordin's relationship with Sage the Gemini quickly ended after she found out that he was in fact still messing with his ex. Sage was begging to get Jordin back on social media, and his ex came forth and exposed the audio of him trash talking Jordin. It was a mess.
Everything was fucking horrible. I guess it was fucking dumb. She got on my nerves. I want to stab her. Don't get me wrong, like, she cool, she level-headed, whatever, but she's not no regular person. Like, Jordin gave me $70,000 to put down on his house, whatever, So, of course, she's been here, but I'm like, what do we do? Like, we can't do nothing. Like, I say a joke and she don't laugh. And I'm like, I know I'm funny.
Even though Jordin's love life was a mess for a period of time, she did end up getting married to a man named Dana Isaiah Thomas, and they have one child together, and to this day they are still very happily married. As far as Jordin's career was concerned, she was finally able to get free from RCA. She ended up signing to a label called Louder Than Life, which was a label started by Salaam Remi. She finally was able to release her third album called Right Here, Right Now, and she released a single called Double Tap featuring 2 Chainz. Unfortunately, the album didn't do well, and things kind of went downhill with her new label.
So we did Right Here, Right Now. I did everything you could think of for the promo for that year. I went on every radio show. I went to Sirius XM. I went everywhere. iHeartRadio. I met with everybody, rubbed every elbow, did every show, every meet and greet, and then the label went bankrupt. So then the album came out, but then there was nothing to do there. How were we supposed to do anything with the label when there wasn't any money from the label? So it was almost like I was independent right then, but it's okay. Everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. Right Here, Right Now was a really amazing and important project for me. I grew so much writing that album.
After facing some ups and downs in the music industry, Jordin took a long hiatus to focus on herself and to focus on her family. Even though Jordin's career didn't pan out the way she expected it would, Jordin is still very satisfied and happy with everything she's doing now. She did release some songs independently. She released a single called Red Sangria, which kind of became a meme on social media, but she also released a nice ballad called You Still Think of Me, and other singles like Can't Stop This Feeling and Love Me Like I Am with the group For King and Country, and another single with Elijah Blake called Deuce. And she released a Christmas album called Cider and Hennessy. She also acted in several projects, including Dear Secret Santa, Left Behind, The Grace of Jake, Snow Dogs, God Bless the Broken Road, and A Christmas Treasure. She even competed on shows like Dancing with the Stars, and she acted in another Broadway musical called Waitress. Today, Jordin runs her business with her husband Isaiah independently, and she still sings and takes on hosting gigs at different sporting events. So even with all the ups and downs in Jordin's career, she is still thriving. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.